This one should be no surprise, but as we look at the NFL, one family that stands out over time is the Manning family. Let's start at the beginning with the patriarch of the family, Archie Manning. Archie played at the University of Mississippi and started for 3 years as the team's quarterback. He was at the helm of the team when they played for the first nationally televised primetime college game. During the game, which they would ultimately lose to Alabama, Archie threw for 436 yards with 3 touchdowns and in addition rushed for 104 yards. He was celebrated at Ole Miss so much that not only is his number retired, but the speed limit on campus is 18 to reflect the jersey that he wore. He was drafted in 1971 second overall and played the majority of his career for the New Orleans Saints. Unfortunately for him, these Saints teams were terrible and would lead to him getting sacked 337 times during his 10 years there. Despite this, he did make 2 Pro Bowls and even spent half a season as a radio commentator while recovering from surgery after Dick Butkus walked off the job. His career ended quietly, and while well respected by his peers, he is one of just a handful of players to have played over 10 years and never appeared in a playoff game. The same could not be said for his kids. Let's start with the most tragic story, Cooper Manning. If you haven't heard of Cooper before, I won't hold that against you as he never played past high school. He was an outlier in the family, playing wide receiver, and played with brother Peyton in high school. It has been said that he is the most talented of the Manning brothers, which is saying something. But he was diagnosed with spinal stenosis, and he abruptly ended his playing career valuing his health above all. He would go on to have 3 children that we will talk about in a little bit. Eli Manning is the youngest brother of the 3 and the only to follow in his father's footsteps by playing at Ole Miss. Despite being a legacy, he was a redshirt freshman and saw very little playing time, passing for just 170 yards and 1 interception over 6 appearances. After the incumbent quarterback left and the starting job fell to Eli his sophomore year, he took advantage of the opportunity. He had a great first game, passing for 271 yards, 5 touchdowns on a 20 of 23 passing attempts. Over the next 3 years, he would accumulate career totals of 10,286 yards, 84 touchdowns, and a 60.8 completion percentage, along with a QB rating of 138.1. Just as impressive is that during his time, he also finished his degree in marketing with a 3.44 GPA, good enough to be on the Dean's Honor Roll. Going into the NFL draft, it was clear the Chargers would pick Eli, having the number 1 overall pick, but both he and his father stated he would not play for them if drafted after talking with former Charger quarterback Ryan Leaf and his experience there. Despite this, the Chargers drafted him anyway, but had a deal in place with the Giants where they would draft Phillip Rivers, and then they would swap picks with the Chargers, also getting a 3rd and 5th round pick in return for Manning. While he did win 2 Super Bowls, including playing the spoiler for Brady's Patriots, who went into the game with an undefeated season only to lose to Eli and the Giants, his career statistics are middling to good, depending on how you interpret them and give him credit for the quality of the team around him. He retired with a 117 and 117 win-loss record and a QB rating of just 84.1, which ranks him 60th all-time, just behind Jacoby Brissett and Sam Bradford. He is eligible for the Hall of Fame in 2025, and there is much debate about whether or not he is worthy. Let me know what you think in the comments below. He also had children, but the oldest is 9 at the time of this video, so time will tell if they choose to pursue athletics. Middle brother Peyton is by far the most successful of the 3, and as stated earlier, he played in high school with his older brother Cooper before he had to give up the game, and Peyton, along with later Eli, would wear the number 18 in his honor. After leading the team to a 37-5 record, he was recruited by as many as 60 colleges, including his father's alma mater, but would ultimately choose the University of Tennessee. His family actually received angry phone calls and letters when he did not attend Ole Miss as was anticipated, but he stuck by his decision. He started his freshman year as the 3rd-string quarterback, and due to injuries, he was named the starter by week 5. After taking over for future MLB All-Star Todd Helton, he didn't give the job back until he left for the NFL. After a rocky first year, he came out with a bang his sophomore year and only got better from there. He finished his college career with 11,201 yards, 89 touchdowns, and a QB rating of 147.1. To no one's surprise, he was elected into the College Hall of Fame alongside his father, making them the first father-son duo to do so. His success made him a top pick, and looking back, it's hard to believe that there was even a debate about picking Peyton or picking Ryan Leaf. The Indianapolis Colts ultimately chose Manning, and it is regarded as the best number 1 pick in NFL history by many experts. Starting in 1998, he played in all 16 regular season games until 2011, when he would miss the season with neck surgery. During his time in Indianapolis, the team would have several successful seasons, and with Manning paired with Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne as his wide receivers, backed up by a strong running back in Edgerrin James, it is no surprise that this was the case. The biggest challenge of his playing time in Indianapolis is perhaps facing Tom Brady every season during the Patriots dynasty. They played 12 times during this period, with the Colts on the losing end more often than not, as they were 4-8 in those games. The debate of which quarterback is better will no doubt continue for years to come. Again, who do you think is better? Leave your answer in the comments below. Despite this, Manning would win a Super Bowl with the Colts in 2006, and in 2012, after his surgery, he was released by the Colts, who had just drafted Andrew Luck. He went to the Broncos, where he would spend 4 seasons. In 2015, he became the first quarterback to win a Super Bowl with 2 different teams as a starter. And when it was all said and done, he was one of 4 quarterbacks to have 70,000 passing yards, and 10 years later still holds the single-season record of 5,477 yards, as well as being in the top of several statistical categories. Peyton, like his brothers, has children, twins, who are 11 years old. His son does play flag football, coached by his dad, but it remains to be seen if he'll play any further. As I said, we talk about Cooper's kids later, and now is the time. The 3rd generation of the Mannings are set to invade college football, with Cooper's son Arch leading the way. The younger brother Hyde plays for his high school team as an offensive lineman, breaking the quarterback mold like his father. While he is reportedly a good player, he is not highly recruited, has been in his brother Arch's shadow, who played on the same team. Arch, however, was very highly recruited, and despite offers from both Ole Miss and Tennessee, he chose to go to Texas. This will be his freshman year, and although he has already lost his student ID twice, the coach says that he brings a worker's mentality, and he wants to be really good at this game. Considering that he broke his uncle Eli's high school passing yards and touchdown records, it appears he will be very good indeed. There is more hype surrounding him due to coming up in the era of social media, and for his sake, I hope that doesn't get to him and he's able to concentrate on the game. Thank you for watching. I had fun looking into the players and researching their careers more than I was already familiar with. Obviously, they aren't the only successful generational family in all of sports, and I'd love to do more of these videos. If you'd like to see more, let me know by liking the video, subscribing, and commenting below what families you might like to see in the future.